Golly, what's good, British boy? Roman Puss here with some more Genshin. I wanted to do another beginner guide because I've been getting asked this a little bit about the summoning guide and overall how the banners work, what's going to come, what's coming next, how's pity work, all of that. So we're gonna dive into that real quick. Also, I stream several times on Twitch at night. If you want to follow me, that's gonna be down in the description. If you're into that, that's okay. If you're not, that's okay too. All right, so let's dive in. Let's look at the guide. Okay, so one thing that's fairly new in the 2.3 update is the fact that we have 2 featured banners. This is new as of this update, so this wasn't a thing before. So from here on going out in the 2.3 update, we're going to be working with 2 new characters for every patch. As you can see, they last for, well, this one goes about 17 days. You won't see it. It says 17 days, 1 hour and 42 minutes. So each one lasts about like half a month, roughly, give or take a few days, but we'll give you probably repeated units. So what it usually goes is repeated units and then like new units and then repeated units and then new units. Whether those are 4 stars or 5 stars as the new units, that differs, as you could see with Toma being on the Hu Tao banner for the last time. So that was different from like the usual setup of that. Now, one thing I want to start on and emphasize is there a difference between using singles or multis? The one thing that I really love about this game is the fact that singles and multis don't matter. So if you are one of those people who, as soon as you get 160 primos to summon, you go ahead and do that, then you can do that and there will be no punishment at all whatsoever. So wishing in 10 is all it does is speed up the process. So don't worry about it. If you want to just keep doing singles or solo yellows and you're into that, that works for you, that'll be fine. Now we have these things can be kind of tricky and they're kind of complicated. So character banners, as we have Albedo, we have Iula. When these run, they do share the same amount of pity. So if you summon up to a certain amount of pity, it will be equal for Iula. So these 2 share a pity, your weapon banner shares a pity, and then your character, this base banner, has its own pity as well, which you can check the history on each of these as well. It'll tell you how far you are. Now, how far is pity for each of these? Your character banners are 90, with a soft pity at 70. So just I'm gonna reiterate and go slowly. So it has 90 total. So it's 9 multis, and then soft pity starts about 70. So most likely you won't hit hard pity. I think it's only happened it's like a rare occurrence for you to hit hard pity, and you have to get super unlucky and super shafted. So generally that won't happen. If you want to check and count how far you into pity, you have this. As you can see, I just pulled Mona, so I'm at 0. But before that, you can check how far in between, and it keeps up to a certain amount of days. I think it keeps like the last 6 months or something. It tells you somewhere in here. That doesn't matter too much. Now, we're going to start with the character banner and just focus on this, and I'll move to the weapon banner. And the base banner is basically the same with character details. Now, what we have is a specific featured unit. So right now we have, if you get a 5-star, we have a 50% chance to get Albedo, which also means we have a 50% chance to get not Albedo. And who's not Albedo? Is the base banner characters, which is why you generally don't summon on base banner. You have Mona, Diluc, Keking, Chi-Chi, Jean. So that's why these characters are always considered shaft characters, and why people are always sad when they get Chi-Chi and do the Chi-Chi dead emote or whatever however that's called. I don't remember what it is specifically. But if you pull not Albedo in this example, if you pull not Albedo, that means you're guaranteed to get Albedo the next time you get a 5-star. It costs a total of 14,400 primos, is 90 pulls. 90 pulls. So that's the equality of that. Generally, you shouldn't have to go the full 90. Hopefully you don't, otherwise you're just completely shafted. But if you have 14,400, you're guaranteed a 4-star for primos. The problem is, do you win the 50-50? So basically every other time you'll win. Now there is a chance to win the 50-50. So if I pull, I lose 50-50, I pull again, keep pulling till I get an Albedo. I get Albedo the next time. Now, if you pull again till you get the next 5-star, there's a 50-50 chance that it's still Albedo. So you can get 2 Albedos in a row. It's possible. It's just, do you win that initial 50-50 chance? And if you do pull Albedo on that, then it resets again, and your next one is still a 50-50 chance. So keep that in mind as you're going to that. This will explain it all kind of in a little more in detail. It gives you the numbers, the exact numbers. So really, you have a 1.6% chance to get a 5-star, and then you have half of that chance is a chance to get Albedo. Or Iula is like the same thing for Iula. It all goes in the same and it matches that. So those things are shared on everything. So keep that in mind. Now, the weapon banners. These beasties are a little trickier and a little more obnoxious to deal with. Weapon banners are ultimate shaft. If you are a free-to-play player, usually these aren't the way to go unless you've been saving for months. If you're one of those people who has hard restraint and can save up for months, like I'm actually generally one of those players that I can save up for months. Like I think I only pulled on Zhongli and I didn't pull until Zhao, and then I saved from Zhao all the way until Raiden Shogun. So I actually saved quite some time. It is possible. It's up to you. It depends on you. I know the game. People said the game was getting like fairly dry before Raiden Shogun came and Inazuma and all of that. So that happened. This new system that happens in 2.3, this is actually in the lower right corner. This allows you to choose which weapon you want. Now, I have already set it in for the sword. I actually just pulled the Claymore, so it actually reset and it didn't count. Now, if you pull all the way, you get a 5-star. Actually, I think I had it set for the Claymore before and I had to reset it to the sword. So if you don't have it set initially, I'm actually going to cancel this because I don't have it anywhere. You get to choose which one of the featured units. Now you have a 50% chance to get one of these new items. Now you have a 50% chance to get one of the new ones, which means you have a 50% chance, or no, you have 75% chance to get one of the new ones. Sorry, apologies. Forgot about that. Whereas that's the character ban. 75% chance to get one of the new items. So you have a 25% chance to get one of the shafts, which could be one of the base banner items. So the Skyward items, Wolf's Gravestone. Now, many of these are still good. Amos Bow is fantastic. I actually really want this weapon, so hopefully one day I'll get it. But I have 25% chance to get that. Now, if you get that 25% chance when you pull a 5-star on this, that means you are guaranteed to get one of the featured the next time. So you're guaranteed the Song of the Broken Pines or the Freedom Sword. Now, if you don't get the one you want, is the question. Now, say you wanted the sword, you pulled, you lost the 75-25, you got one of the Skyward items. Okay, so then you pull again, you get to your next 5-star, you get the Claymore. But this whole time you wanted the sword. If you lock in your path as the sword and chart your course, that will count and add those fate points to you. That will give you those, like every time you pull a 5-star that is not the sword, it'll add it. So basically you would have to pull 2 5-stars. And on the third time you pull a 5-star, now this is a lot of primos, talking like a lot of primos, like this 14,400 is guaranteed 5-star. Actually, no, it's less than that because for weapon banner is actually 80 pity instead of 90. So 8 times. Soft pity starts kicking in around 63, 62 from what I've seen. So roughly, which means you have increased chances to get that 5-star there. So about 6 multis, 6 to 8 multis is when you should about get that. So roughly around there. Now, if you pull, you get 2 5-stars. You don't get those. On your third 5-star that you get, you will be guaranteed that sword that you finally wanted. Kind of cancer, kind of obnoxious. It is what it do be. So sadly, that's how it is. The weapon banners can be complete shafts. If you are not a whale, it's generally not recommended because you can get by on a lot of 4-star weapons. But if you save up quite a lot, hopefully you won't get shafted. You can generally save up for your character. I really like connecting my weapons with my characters because that looks aesthetically pleasing to me. Like my Zhao with my Jade Spear or my like Coco Meat with her donut. Yes, I know. Don't make fun of my donut and my Coco Meat, but it is what it is and it's godlike. So that is fantastic. Yeah, so you'll be guaranteed that. So that's how these work. Now, if you are a new player, you have that intro banner. Generally, I don't recommend summoning on that. You can because you like have higher rates, but you kind of want to go for characters that you want. One thing to keep in mind, if you are just starting out, that means you are likely in Mondstadt. So let's look at the map here. You're just starting out, you're in Mondstadt. Now here's our whole global map here. Here's Inazuma. Here is Liyue. Liyue is this region. Mondstadt is here. You start out, like, I think you like start out here in this region, somewhere around here. You had to go through the story mode and like finish a lot of the Mondstadt items. Now this gets you pretty far. I think that takes you all the way up into like AR rank somewhere in the 30s, I believe. Then you have to go through all of the Liyue stuff. That'll take you all the way through all of that. And then that's all the story mode. You'll have to climb through all of that. Now there are resources, not for Albedo or Eula. Those, they actually have resources within here, so they're nice. But once we get Ito, out of Taki Ito, who's coming out in 17 days, his resources are only accessible on this island. I don't know actually what other resources he's going to have, but this wolf is what you need to level him up. If you don't have or are not far enough in the story through Inazuma to get to that wolf, you are not going to be able to level up your Ito until you progress through the story. So keep in mind, if you're trying to summon for the brand new character, take an analysis as a new player of how far you are. Why am I looking at this? I don't know. Take an analysis where you're at. Luckily, these units are Mondstadt, so they are actually easily able to get their resources early on. So kind of look, I would actually check out the Wikipedia that will tell you what region they're from. That's basically where their resources are going to be coming from. So take an eye out, like keep an eye out for that when you're summoning for what characters you want. All right, you guys, that is my general guide to pulling. I hope that was helpful. I hope that explains a lot, and hopefully that wasn't too confusing. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I will be happy to answer. But that is all I have for you guys. I'm your boy Room Puss, and I will be taking off. Yeah, honey.